Hey, Kyle here. In this video, I want to share with you how to stop shallow breathing and how to retrain your breathing rhythm to release stress and anxiety and tension that's held in your body. So our breath is so fundamental to our creative spirit, our life spirit. So spirit is an interesting word. In English, it comes from a Latin root, spiritus, which means to breathe. It means breath, spirit, life. Often means courage as well, because when we breathe into things, we can tackle obstacles, we can come alive to any challenge. But when we breathe shallow, because we're in a state of fear or anxiety or panic, then we can't rise to the challenge. And shallow breathing in the modern world has become very common. Estimates are that majority of people that live in cities, that work on computers especially, are shallow breathers, and it's the nature of the posture we have today. So we're hunched over when we're on iPads, when we're on iPhones, when we're on laptops. So ergonomics is really important for breathing as well, but shallow breathing is caused by this bad posture, and it's caused by stress. So stress, when we have a stressful experience, say a traumatic experience, what we're supposed to do is shake it off, right? And that shaking lets go of the tension. But over time, as we get older, we build up this tension permanently in our body. And that's what leads really to chronic stress. So we have to shake it off. Otherwise, this chronic stress causes us to breathe shallow. And not just shallow, when we're under stress, we also tend to mouth breathe, which is also very, very, very bad. So naturally, mammals, they breathe through a process called eupnea. If you watch a baby breathing or a dog breathing, you can see that natural breath wave that flows in and out of the body, and the whole body is animated. Whereas shallow breathing is chest breathing, right? You're breathing in your chest, like you do that, you're gonna change your physiology, which changes your mental state to be in a state of stress, right? A state of anxiety. So what you want to do is have this wave where your whole body's activated and you're breathing in a deeper way where your diaphragm, right around where your rib cage is set, the bottom of your rib cage, is your diaphragm. You want to activate the diaphragm because that pushes out your rib cage and it allows your breath to go into the deeper parts of your lungs where it can be absorbed much more easily. So it's really important for oxygen absorption and a relaxing wave, which actually activates what's called our vagus nerve. And our vagus nerve is really connected to our stress response and relieving and relaxing from that stress response, more importantly. So when you have this more breath wave comes in, your diaphragm comes out, your stomach goes out, your abdomen goes out as well, and it activates what's called the hara. In Japanese Zen Buddhism, in Chinese medicine or Qigong, they call it the Dantian. It's your energy center. And when we breathe in a way it activates our energy center, we just perform at a way higher level. But it's very easy to get caught in shallow breathing. So if you want to just do a quick test to see if you're shallow breathing, what you can do is place one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. And just notice what is coming out more, your chest or your stomach. And naturally, when you focus in on your breath, you're going to change it. So what you want to do is check this throughout your day. So at different times in your day, you may be shallow breathing, you may be deeper diaphragmatic breathing into your hara. So you want to really notice this throughout your day. When you're under stress, notice how you are chest breathing under stress and probably mouth breathing as well. So for example, exercise is actually a stressor, right? It's how we grow our muscles and grow our endurance, and it causes us to breathe through our mouth. And high performance athletes actually will learn to breathe just through their nose. And with training, you can actually do it, and it actually gives you much more mental balance and focus. But initially, what's really important is notice when you're mouth breathing, And a lot of people today are always mouth breathing, chronic mouth breathing. And a lot of kids end up chronic mouth breathing if they're in an environment that's stressful and different things, like a school, for example, to a hyperactive kid is a very stressful environment. So that hyperactive kid then, breathe more shallow, right, through their mouth because they're under a lot of stress in this environment that forces them to sit still. And then over time, they become disruptive, they become unable to focus, right? And then, that kid has ADHD, right? Then they get medicated. But really the problem is they just weren't designed to sit still. Some people aren't, right? And we have to really optimize our environment for what works for us. And stress in our environment is a big deal because, cities are stressful places, right? They're stressful places. So when we do find ourselves activating this stress response and having anxiety, we want to stop and breathe deep and slower. So I'm going to share with you a really easy rhythmic breathing technique you can use to help reset your breath. So stop shallow breathing and stop mouth breathing. So mouth breathing is a really bad thing, and it's quite common, like I was saying, and we do it under stress, right? And we have a lot of stress in our lives and we're very busy. It's very easy to breathe through the mouth. And also what happens is when we have a lot of tension, we breathe through the mouth when we're sleeping. So if you wake up with a dry mouth, suggests you're probably breathing through your mouth when you're sleeping, right? And usually that's also connected with snoring, right? If you have a significant other, it might drive them completely nuts, right? So training yourself to breathe through your nose, to breathe deeper and slower, can really make a big difference in your physiology and thus your mental health, right? Physical and mental health are connected, the mind-body connection, and the connecting thing in life between who we are and our world we live in is our breath, the spirit, right? It's the spirit that gives us life and animates us. And the deeper and slower you breathe, the more energy you're going to have, the more creative you're going to be, the more able you are to feel and come alive and be animated, right? Right? So breath, often overlooked by Western medicine, very, very important. And really to change your breath, you have to train. Very important to train because we have habits and we have to break those habits over time with constant reminders, especially for something like breath. So what I recommend doing is spending some time, hand on your chest, hand on your stomach, and starting to really notice your breath. And then having sessions in your day. Initially, I recommend starting off really short, a minute or two, and do it 3 to 5 times a day if you can, or just once a day if that's all you can manage. But the more you do it, the faster you're going to train your breath. So if you have one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, even your abdomen can be good too to make sure your abdomen's coming out as well. And with your mouth closed, breathe in through your nose for a count of 4 and breathe out through your nose for a count of 4. And on the out breath, it's actually okay to breathe through your mouth, but on the in breath, it's very important to breathe in through your nose. And also, just the nature of coronavirus today, breathing through your nose is actually better for filtering out microbes and potential pathogens. And it warms the air a little bit too in such a way that's just better for your lungs. So it's very important when you're at relaxing and at rest, especially to breathe slow and deeply through your nose. So here it is, I'll count it out. So with your hand on your chest and on your stomach. So you want your chest to come out, but you want your stomach and your abdomen to come out more. So you want to breathe into the bottom of your stomach, essentially. So you have this wave that flows across your body, animating you and allowing your lungs to absorb more oxygen and give you more energy. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And what I recommend doing for at least the first 5 to 10 breaths, count it out. either out loud, or obviously not out loud, actually in your mind, or have someone else do it for you, or listen to some audio to the beat. You can do that as well. And then let go, and then sink into the rhythm. And if you find that you're coming out of the rhythm, then you can just repeat it in your mind, and keep reminding yourself to breathe in that rhythm. And if you do that a few times a day, you'll start to train yourself to breathe slower and deeper, which can have a huge impact in your life, and give you more flow and connection with what you're doing, and more aliveness, right? So I hope you learned something from this. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to help. And if you like this video, give me a like. I really appreciate it. And subscribe if you think, I share awesome stuff that you find valuable and that you'll actually do, right? That's really what all about the DIY ethos is, not just learning, but learning to do things that actually change your life and change how you approach your experience. And if you want to learn more about flow experience design, which is really about designing your experience and the way you breathe and the way you live and your habits and rituals, I got a free guide below. It gets into flow psychology and about experience design as well. Okay, thanks a lot. I'm Kyle again. I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any questions as you're practicing over time, as you're changing your breath, please hit me up. I'm happy to help. All right, bye.